here. Let's go. GTU 2024 day 2. It's going to be the second run of the day. We've got the second of 6. I think we've got 3D universe, 2D universe, HD universe, and we even got some Red Dead as well by Josh sprinkled in later. So there's a bit of everything here today. But right now we're going to be doing the research. Yeah. We're going to be doing the Ballad Gay Tony 80% today. With me, co-commentating, I've got Ron. Ron, say hello.
Hello.
Yep, so what better way to do than we'll jump straight in. So the timing is going to be on the first cutscene of the starting intro of the game. So may as well just jump straight into it. Also, can I say, big congratulations for 1,000... over 1,000 earned already on day 2. Crazy stuff. Right? Yeah. And it's only the beginning of day 2. It's not even over, so plenty more to come.
Oh, we are already going.
We are already going, but the problem is I have not got my rebinds set up. So short hiccup. Right, take 2 seconds, okay. Alright, we're back.
The picture froze.
Yeah, I tabbed out. It's back there.
I'm sorry. Too big delay.
Alright, so starting off this run, it's pretty simple. It's just drive A to B around 3 times. But later on in the run, there's quite a few unique stuff to Ballad Gay Tony with our Mando warps and some more unique stuff. So start is a bit boring, but it does pick up later in the run, and there is some pretty RNG stuff later as well with time management and all that stuff. So hoping it goes well, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is probably the run with the most amount of tricks out of any GT4 game. Game got really lucky with glitches. I don't know how.
Yeah, the glitches are pretty unique, but it's pretty strange because some of the glitches that you'd think would work in TLAD don't work in, or some of the glitches that work in the Ballad Gay Tony don't work in TLAD or GTA 4, like the Armando, for example. So it does get pretty hectic later on, and a lot of things rely on stuff going correctly. So also the bike jumps as well, which will be shown quite early, or like warping out of buildings and stuff. You skip a lot of shootouts in this run, so I think without the shootouts it's like nearly 15 minutes of time save or something crazy.
Yeah, we need one classic volunteer runner to see how much it saves.
I mean, you found a couple of the skips, haven't you? Oh my god.
Yeah. No, I mean the volunteer classic enjoyer who will do all the shootouts, because if it was a classic run, oh shit.
This might be the worst high-level LC ever.
Never mind. Classic allows checkpoints, so no. It would still skip shootouts. Shame. Yeah, this drive can be a little bit annoying. And after getting a taxi, Ace will wait for a certain reference to skip this window, the mission end window here, and to skip the text, I think, or no, end of mission call.
Yeah. So there's a bit of that. I think that's the only time in the run you really need to time the starting. Because you get an extended end of mission overview with the
Yeah,
beginning one.
like
It's an introduction, I think. So
Mhm.
I think you get in around 18 seconds on the timer, and then that should be almost perfect to get the press backspace to exit. But yeah, coming into this mission, it's going to be the first big glitch or exploit, I would say. We skipped the entire shootout, and it's also going to make use of the checkpoint system, which got introduced in The Lost and Damned, actually. So it skips the entire shootout, as we'll see in a moment here. You just run up to this guy here, get hit twice, and that'll come into play later in the run, the next mission. And you jump and spam F until you get out. It actually takes a while sometimes, so there you go. And I actually got a good roll, which is pretty clean. So you shoot around 18 bullets into this car to fail the mission. Make sure you stand outside the front so you can trigger the outside checkpoint. And this is, sometimes people fail on this. You need to pause for a second before you start moving, because if you move, you can actually soft lock this, this mission almost by, Tony not saying the line required, which will not spawn the go home trigger. So that went, it was alright. It could have went a lot better, but could have went a lot worse also. So yeah, also to skip there's a slight amount of time where you can skip the end of mission overview, around 2 or 3 seconds, and you can video editor warp, to prevent the
during this mission screen you cannot pull out the phone, so you have to do it pretty quick.
Yeah. So this section, we gotta wait for a bike. I didn't quite get one there, but a couple of refreshes, I think I can get one.
Yeah, there's always a bike somewhere, but you don't know which side.
Actually getting very unlucky with bikes.
And that's fucked up.
That's it, dude, really fucked up. Yeah, there's not a single bike.
Okay, obligatory GTA 4 stuttering question. You're probably talking about Steam version stuttering. You can fix it by enabling Steam overlay. Otherwise, you just, if it's not that, then just use mods.
Okay,
Like,
this is crazy.
yeah, I don't know, where are the bikes though?
3 refreshes and no bikes. Okay, we finally go on. Oh, okay then. There's a cop here actually, and I don't know if he's gonna move, so I might get a wanted level. Yeah, he's not gonna move. This is a disaster, but
it's a really unique situation. Might get the activity call now as well. Ah, no wanted level. Never mind. Yeah, it's not a biker DLC, but somehow, whenever you load a save or with warp, there's almost always a bike near the save house.
yeah, that was I've never seen any of that sort of luck before, but it happens sometimes. So we're going to be abusing the same mechanic that we abused before with the jumping over and spamming F.
Yeah, basically canceling the jump.
Yeah.
It's used in more than one instance. Well, actually, it was just used the last mission. Surely there are more usages for it. It doesn't work on Tillad Museum mission, sadly. I mean, wouldn't be really useful anyway. Maybe to get inside the museum in Classic, for
Oh,
example.
this is crazy.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't done this in years, this clip.
Oh, that took way too long. This is crazy. Anyways, that skips the entire walk to I'm getting absolute one-way comboed.
Yeah, the entire following
I actually
segment.
die. I can't dodge him.
Uh-oh.
I
That would have
died.
been pretty...
Oh
no.
my god.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
The,
dodge...
The checkpoint is
dodging-
the thingy, right? Just spawned you back in, I think.
Yeah, it should be. Thankfully, they introduced checkpoints in DLCs.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
start
sure
game
if-
is a disaster in this. I mean, this whole run is a disaster, but...
And still gotta wait for this
He's
guy.
actually wait.
This is probably the worst idea ever, to make you follow someone in the game like GTA. On foot, nonetheless. And countering the attacks is really inconsistent. I mean, yeah. I think some attacks you just cannot dodge at all. They are just too quick.
Yeah, if you get hit once, sometimes you can just end up in a never-ending cycle of getting hit. I've actually lost my armor now. And I wonder if it's actually faster to just beat him here and kill thingy. I'll take the
No,
dive anyways, just not to break the...
Yeah, I'm not
tank
sure. You
barriers.
have to counter him like 4 times. He has a lot of health.
Yeah, he brings up
And
to
the-
50 HP here, and then just spam E to take a dive. He's quite weak, I thought he'd be a lot... a lot stronger than this.
It's alright. The rest of the run is gonna be a smooth sailing. Smooth sailing from now on.
Surely. Yeah, a lot can go wrong in this, so... I did kinda expect... I didn't expect it to be this bad, but... It happens.
Always like this, always. I didn't expect... I never had that track until I had to not spawn the ramp ever. That was the first time for me. I saw it. I saw the clips.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
I'm
seen,
talking
yeah.
like this.
I've seen that happen, but I've never experienced it before. It's quite... It's extremely rare, no? So...
I didn't even think it could happen to me. Probably something to...
I wonder
to
what
do
actually
with it.
causes that. It's really strange.
Anyway, back to Broadway.
Well, yeah, this drive is nothing interesting. We do a little jump over the bridge at the end of this section, but other than that,
Yeah,
pretty boring drive.
I figured for myself that I have to be in the middle of the turn to make that jump. But it was a while ago, maybe I was wrong. Like the right wheel needs to be turning.
Yeah,
Needs to be.
I mean, luckily the cavalcade is also rounded at the top, so if you flip it, it's normally not so bad to get it back. Yeah, just like that.
Pretty good.
There's a cop there, don't want to run over him, but arriving here, I'm going to set a marker, which will be used later in the run. And there's a very specific lineup I have, which will allow us to skip a very long boat ride. So this shootout on 50 HP, I have to be careful, but...
Yeah, when Void Wars were found, it was immediately obvious that T-Box is gonna save the most amount of time out of all 3 games. Well, now I'm not so sure when some stuff was found in IV too. A lot of small stuff in IV and then huge chunks in T-Box because of sexy time, as was mentioned. And you arrive to the helipad a few times and taxi is there.
See, there's some grenade lineups here. Ends up just killing everything pretty easy. Skip the cutscene and then you want to aim at the light. And then that should kill the heli. Like so. So again, we have more RNG with taxis, so... becomes a pretty common theme in GTA 4 runs.
Yeah, this Boabo place is really bad for taxis, even during the daytime. And sadly, the mission starts 3 times here, as well as this one, because the more reliefs here.
Okay then. What you do at them clubs of yours? You look
So I'm really low HP. I hope I end up alright here, but... yeah, so now we're going to go to Yusuf, and we're going to be making use of that marker that we just placed in the mission there. And it's going to be the first time we're doing a void warp in this run, so...
Yeah, the void warp is basically removing the marker at the certain with a certain timing, just as you selected. So you have to pause with some kind of reference. When the door closes, he pauses and removes the marker, and it sends you straight where the marker is. This is pretty tricky because he triggered the alarm. Oh shit, the last possible guy. Yeah. We couldn't find any consistency with this, I think. Because sometimes you arrive and they are not alarmed, and there is a little cutscene, but you don't have to shoot, so it's still better. I don't know why they get alarmed sometimes. Maybe they hit the ball. Yeah, after the mission restart, it's pretty weird with taxi spawns. Taxi, taxi, taxi. This waypoint is really precise. And Ace used a little tech here to... He clicked out of the map and it placed the marker right in the middle. I'm not sure if he mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a butterfly effect, really, because one thing goes wrong and then everything goes wrong. But I think it should be neutral again now. It should be okay. I think getting some health now should be fine.
Yeah, it's common to have less than half health in the first part of the run. In the first half. Well, at least for me it was.
Yeah, so pausing and unpausing will start the cutscene sooner. And I think it used to be quite tricky to get a one sweep with the helicopter, but seems to be pretty okay now. I actually used to tap the buttons instead of holding the buttons on the controller for shooting the missiles, so holding them makes it a lot easier. Holding it makes it a lot easier. Because if you tap fire it, you get that.
Ah, you didn't know that you can hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, on higher FPS the heli miniguns shoot a bit faster, and the heli itself is a bit more responsive. Specifically this heli, the Buzzard.
Guys, going straight back to Yusuf. To do high dive now. I've died 2 times already, I think, so I think that's, is it 6 hours passes whenever you die?
It's 10 hours, but the checkpoint brings you back to the mission start time.
Oh, okay.
So you might even end up being too early because it sends you back to the mission start time, not the checkpoint time.
Okay. Well, if I am too early for the route link, I'm pretty sure I can just flip them around, and okay, that's an issue.
Yeah,
Okay, I
you
think I
can
wanted to.
receive. Oh shit.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can just flip the frosting on the cake and Boulevard Baby, and it should fix the route. There's a skip you can get here with the warp out if you block the back door handle, but unfortunately didn't get it there. It is quite difficult to get because the marker slows you down to an exact stop, so.
Yeah, there was a question like 6 minutes ago about GTA 4 or on Steam Deck. I saw the video from TJBT. I forgot the name, I'm sorry. Oh, it's a pretty recent one. Maybe I'll link it even. He claimed that it runs well on like high settings with shadows and like 40 FPS I think.
Sometimes this chopper here, the Annihilator, can just kill itself somehow. I think it rubs against another helicopter that spawns in and they both end up killing each other, but if not, you can just shoot it like that. Because the helicopters will come up and they'll follow Luis exactly on his level, which is pretty funny. If you look left and right, you can see them hovering at his exact level, and they'll just chip away like 4% health every single time. Yeah, also something pretty useful is if you aim at the bottom of the ladder and then press F to enter it, you don't get the stumble or like the freeze, which sometimes became an issue, where if you would just try to press F on the ladder, Luis would just freeze for a couple of moments, but aiming normally fixes it. It's very rare you get it if you aim. So jumping off, getting a good jump, you could sometimes get a bad jump there. And my marker here is the end of the crossroad here. So now starting the link up on practice swing. So practice swing actually has some pretty cool golf tech, where you can skip a whole part of the a whole swing of the golf per se, and it makes it, I think, an extra, is it 5-6 seconds faster if you were to just do it normally, something like that.
Yeah, it is pretty satisfying to get. I don't know how much it would lose to miss the second shot.
Golf in
Also,
this
I
game
think
is pretty cool as well. Does V golf work like this as well? I'm not entirely sure. But there, if you swing like that, it normally gets it pretty well. And that's as good as it gets, really. What were you saying, Rom?
Any moment now, my
No, never mind.
So I jump down here and I'm gonna try and shoot the door open. It's a placebo. I don't actually know if it helps Tony get out the door, but I'm also gonna take my time with the shots. You need to kill exactly 8 people here for Tony to come out. If you kill them too early, Tony seems to get stuck on the stairs, and it just ends up being a big butterfly effect where he'll come outside, he'll get shot, he'll stumble, and it's just a big time loss. So.
Come on, put some distance behind us. Don't worry, Al. I ain't gonna chicken out on you like I did in Chinatown.
Also got the skip here where you can get Rocco to push you. So using nades here, you gotta be very careful you don't hit any tables or chairs, because you can imagine if you use a grenade and you get stuck on a chair, it's not gonna end very well for you. So.
We got one behind us now. Thank Moses. Yo, Rocco, you piece of shit. What you got us into? Shut up, Lou. He didn't mean anything by it.
So yeah, the 2 guys end up getting stuck by the trees anyways, but killing him early just helps with the health. I don't think it actually makes it faster at all. It's just kind of
Nowhere near top
a
speed
safekeeping type of thing.
Oh, really, Tom? When you become the golf buggy specialist? No, I don't know. Just get us out of here and shut up.
Yeah, I think they die automatically at some
I
point.
just love your new friend.
So placing the marker and changing vehicle density.
Let's just head back to the apartment.
And now coming into this next mission, it's going to be introducing the first Armando warp of the run, I think.
Warming to that guy. Like a back case of crabs.
Yeah, there could have been an Armando warp after the first mission, but I don't think it's worth it. You could
They're easy to get rid of.
set up the Armando warp during wait time somehow, but yeah.
For some
And
reason.
this marker sends you straight to the mission, and it didn't work for some reason.
Here we are.
Maybe the taxi.
It happens sometimes. It is kind of strange, but I've got a taxi here anyways.
Okay, then. Here we are.
Yeah, so all 3 Mori missions have a taxi strat now, so almost every mission in T-Bolt requires you to use some kind of mission vehicle and never abandon it. So it's kind of lame, but thankfully there is a trick for it, as Ace mentioned.
Yeah, the Ballad Tony also, for some reason, despawns cabs a lot. You don't end up using the same cab very often. So
I mean that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it despawns your cars as well. Like, it's kind of lame when the game just despawns the vehicle you arrived in.
Here we are. Thank you.
Pretty much every mission start has a huge despawn zone where you don't want it.
Step right up and
yeah, so to do the Armando warp, you just replay the mission
get on up the boat hand, will
and then press E after you've replayed the mission, and that'll end up
Thanks for coming, eh?
warping Luis with the car. The car, if you don't get the call, sometimes you can call and it'll bring the car with you, but if not, then the car will just respawn somewhere close.
Why, bro? What's the excitement?
But yeah, this
Yeah.
saves a decent amount of time. How much time does it save? Probably like
But
30?
the initial comparison was probably like 15 seconds. I don't remember this mission, but in some cases it's up to 20 seconds, and it was a slower execution than I would have done now, so safe to say it saves a lot of time overall. It largely depends on the taxi spawn, so that's the lame part. And the reason why it only works on T-Box is because there is a half a second delay after you restart a mission in T-Box for some reason, and you can do anything. You can trigger the cleaning platform, for example, and that will teleport you, but not the car. Or you can trigger ATM and it will do nothing, I think. I'm not sure if every single possibility was tested. Yeah, I think
Now that we've taken out all your
I think the other thing that was tested was wardrobe, because you can change your clothes at home here, and there's a glitch, the invincibility glitch that's related to mission restarts and the wardrobe.
Yeah, I don't think there is a use for it except for just like messing about. But yeah, there's something to do with the wardrobe, and you can go invincible. And
Yeah, it's probably useful for no damage, but it doesn't. I think it doesn't make you invincible everywhere, or it doesn't work on every mission. So, and it would be pretty boring anyway. Because apparently there is a difference between no damage and OHP. Either way, it's faster to video editor work from this spot, so
yeah, so vid warping at the end of here. And that'll bring us to the next mission, clocking off. And this is one of the rare times in the run you will make a phone call. There's not much text and call management in the Ballad of Tony compared to IB. Even TLAD has a lot more management compared to Bog, so it's very much just gameplay and a bit of time management.
yeah, there are plenty of phone calls that you just never receive. They designed this game in the way that you receive the story stuff first unless you delay it. You never receive useless calls first. There are only 2 texts from Armando and Henrique that are shorter than phone calls. Also, hello Tizuro, thank you for the raid.
Vic, I have a message for you.
What's up?
It's $100 from Cosney, and I think they meant to send this to you privately, but I'm gonna read it out anyway. It says, "I missed you, little kitten."
Okay, yeah, okay, he's kind of gone crazy right now.
Yeah.
Saves up
Thank
for
you
the
very much,
DMs,
Cosney.
man.
That's very generous of you.
That is huge.
And
Thank you
Cosney
so much,
also
Cosney.
redeemed his knitted sweater from Save the Children. If you donate $100 or more, you can get yourself a like a reward on the Tiltify dashboard, and you get sent a complimentary Christmas jumper, basically. How cool is that?
It's rare as well, exclusive, limited edition.
Cosney, you better send a picture of you wearing it when you get it, like modeling it for us.
Anyway, so this mission, coming into it, is I think Josh actually found this this skip, or at least what we'll be going for. You can skip a lot of the gunfights with C4s. So by setting the C4s in certain spots, you'll actually skip a whole extra wave of enemies to kill. So setting them is pretty tricky to get all of them properly. I missed one, but I think it should be okay.
There are certain CSGO lineups for this.
Yeah. I think Armando actually pieced them pretty quickly, actually. Something that I hope doesn't happen is Armando catching fire, because that can happen. Yeah, I think he's okay. Yeah, there he is. Because if Armando catches fire, he runs around for a very long time, and then he doesn't really do much after that. I think he just walks around, and sometimes he can get stuck, and he can't get in his car for a good 5 minutes. So that didn't go great, but it went a lot better than it could have. So we'll take what we can.
Is 26 faster here? I didn't think about it.
It is, yeah, because I think anything on rails is worth a test on 26.
Ah, right. You're waiting for him at the
Yeah.
end. Otherwise.
You don't need to work this hard. It's just the only way you know about it. We don't all got what you got, El. I ain't got your looks. I ain't got.
So setting a marker to Tony.
You could jump off that bridge as well, but I'm not even sure if that would save any time. And it's not consistent. I'm not sure if that would make Armando move faster.
This is it, compadre.
We want the
We're here.
future to be bright.
Stop, yo.
Yeah, so you can shoot the door off the cabs, but it is very risky because if you do get cops, getting cops will unhail the cab and it will just start driving off. So in regular 90% we'd do it, but for a marathon we'd probably just leave it out.
Yeah, this is the only part in T-Box where you use the same cab for a bit. There are like 5 or 6 fires in a row. It's really worth it putting the door down. Ah, that bridge on the previous mission was all scripted traffic. It's so scripted. You can crash and go to 0 speed from full speed.
We're here. Gracias, yo.
So you can use the exploding shotgun to take out the train here, which saves a lot of time because if you try to do that classic for 100% in casual playthrough, I think the best way to do it is a buzzard or something. It's definitely not.
Yeah, the mission as a whole is probably faster in a heli.
Yeah, I think the strategy for it was to get useless buzzard or something like that. But yeah, thankfully we don't need to do that. Just taxi to it, hail the cab, and shoot it with the exploding shotgun.
Yeah, and the reason to place this sticky bomb is because the plane doesn't spawn until you reach the pink blip. And it is faster to void warp inside the airport and then drive. Only drive one way. Don't have to drive back and forth.
Hopefully I don't get re-spotted. Yeah, we're fine. So coming into Maury's mission here, you get an end of mission call, but the mission overview actually cancels the end of mission call until you press backspace. So pressing it as late as possible is what you want to do to get the best possible time.
Yeah, it delays end of mission calls, and even if there's no end of mission call, it delays the next incoming call.
Oh.
After the ladies' night, for example, receiving a call is like 5 seconds slower than if you read warp and receive it.
Here we are. Thank you.
That's really bad cab spawn, but yeah. So this is one of the strange Armando warps in the run. This was found by Jorge, I believe, and
Yeah, Jorge found the initial Armando Wars as well. He just found this setup too.
yeah, this one is crazy. It's so right now we are in I don't know, it's Brucey's area, Brucey's house, and by buying the weapon from replacing the weapon, you replace the, I don't know what pistol it is, but replacing the original pistol we have with the starter pistol from IV, the regular Glock, it will think, by buying the weapon, it'll think you're in a different spot than you are, and it'll warp you to Armando.
Yeah, otherwise it would teleport you without the car, and
Yeah, and you fail the mission, yeah.
locking yourself in the replace the weapon text. It postpones. You can enter the car and then trigger the Armando warp.
Yeah, yeah. It basically acts as a buffer. So that's probably my favorite find in the run, because it's such a clever way to introduce the Armando warp, and it is pretty consistent as well if you do the correct placebo for it. But yeah, that's definitely one of the coolest Armando warps in the run, and it saves around 30 seconds from just driving there, or 25 or something like that. So it is a very big find, and it is extremely satisfying to pull off. The rest of this mission is, it's pretty boring, to be honest. You set up another Armando warp, which we actually didn't know this for a long time until it got found out, but Armando warps are 100% consistent in spawning in missions, and only in missions. If not, then you have to wait, is it 4 hours or 6 hours, something like that, to get Armando.
After using again when, or even Henrique ability, the next ability is locked for 4 hours.
Yeah.
In T-Lad it's always that case, but in T-Bokt you can use it infinitely during a mission.
Yeah, and even with this, we still can't even get all Armando warps to be in the run. That would save time, so. And if you think about it, routing this game is pretty tricky, because you have to fit all the Armando warps in while also keeping a good time for entering missions, so you make the loops, and there's just a lot of thought that goes into it. I wouldn't say it's as complicated as regular base IV. I think that's the timing on that, and all the death warps and all that stuff is pretty tricky, but
yeah, every mission where Armando appears also removes him from the map, or there are other things that you have to consider, like you're getting new weapons on many missions. Some mission connections are just too good, like the end of High Dive where you jump, base jump into the next mission is just inseparable.
And there's the double connection on the Bulgarian missions, which we'll see later in the run. Something that was actually introduced in the Ballad of Tony, I believe, is the radius of where you have to be. You have to be a certain distance before missions spawn.
Yeah, this is GTA 5 tier.
Yeah.
Mechanic.
I mean, this game is basically GTA 4.5. It takes a lot of aspects of what was to come in GTA 5, so. But yeah, this mission is, I think, the only mission you can use the boost on these cars, right?
The nitro is only appears in triathlons, and triathlons are basically 5 minutes of boating and then 1 minute of driving. Well, I'm exaggerating, but it feels that way.
Yeah, if there were regular races, they'd be a lot more enjoyable, but I guess they tried to introduce everything. And of course they need to introduce the parachute mechanic and make use of it as well.
It used to be a huge delusion that pulling out the phone and keeping the nitro running makes the car accelerate faster, but the only thing that accelerates your car is draining the nitro, so...
I can show it here. It shows that you're using NOS, but I don't actually think it is. But
yeah, it's just a visual effect. It doesn't... well... from the testings it certainly doesn't change anything.
Okay, so
that's a good enough taxi to use. Otherwise, if you don't get a good taxi here, just drive to the next mission, I think.
So yeah, we need to get the Armando text. If not, it messes up every single call after that. So I'm gonna wait here for it because I'd like to get it now rather than later. So there it is. And this is one of the trickiest Armando warps in the run. I've found a pretty decent placebo to make it as consistent as possible, but it is extremely tricky and unforgiving if you fail it. I think it's an instant 1.5 minutes lost if you fail it, so let's pray that it goes right, because we had pretty awful RNG at the start of the run. So by calling 911, I'm going to hold my up button, 911, and I'm going to cap to 15 here. That seems to be okay. If I can get past Armando's car.
Yeah, you have to make a call really quickly.
Yeah.
And if you just call anyone else, it dials like 9 digits instead of 3. I don't remember how many digits are usual phone numbers in Ivy.
So can you let me be a lipstick in peace?
Having a pussy is your type.
Oh, it's 10 digits. Well, either way.
Thanks, Luis.
If you dial in time, he stays inside the car during the warp. And otherwise, the car just... In this case, the car would just flip sideways and it would be really annoying on flip.
This is another mission you can shoot the door off and it saves a little bit of time, but I think the risk reward is a bit...
Yeah, that would be really pushing it because
Yeah, yeah.
there are only like 2 warps after.
You want war, Mr. Blogger? It's on. Where to? Let's do it.
If someone was out of line, they got corrected. And the mob had great fireworks.
Okay, so Caught with Your Pants Down is, again, another extremely RNG mission. It relies on getting... I don't know exactly how many cops it is to get all the stars down, but...
Overall, if it's 20, and after killing like 18, you can just lose the last star by driving
Yeah.
away.
Because even if you have 2 stars, doesn't matter if you have 2, 3, or 4. If you're outside the circle, it'll just teleport back onto you. So...
Very anti-climatic mission for GTA, where you in GTA it's just a rule that when you commit crimes you get more stars, but in this case you just lose them.
the logic doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Kill more cops, there'll be less cops. Surely.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really not sure if dying and restarting the mission would be faster. It needs to be compared again, I think, with 911 strats. But maybe someday. Yeah, because the strat used to be you just dive into the pavement and then you restart and you appear in the Algonquin after restarting the mission. But the main part that takes time is killing cops anyway, so you might as well just drive there and shoot cops. that was interesting tech.
Yeah, if you hold both the left and right mouse button, it does the very slow parachuting. So yeah, this is probably the only time that we actually use cops in the Ballad of Tony. Like, we actually call them and want them to come to us. Ringing the cops will end up spawning an extra cop every time you do it, once you accept and hang up. So I think I make this actually for the
Yeah, it should be fine.
connection. Do the low FPS to see if I can squeeze a bit more time out.
Yeah, even if Tony icon is grey on the map, you can go there and start the mission for like another half an hour, I think.
Yeah, it's 30 seconds. 30
13
seconds
gaming.
early, and I think we can go in.
The only thing they forgot to add in this DLC is army base. There's everything else. Machine gun instead of a minigun, the APC instead of a tank. Yeah, having 3 stars on this roadblock is kind of good because there are way more cop cars than on 4 stars. On 4 stars it would be like 4 police vans, or even less, I don't know. And I think you have to kind of keep looking in the cop car's direction, because otherwise they might despawn before blowing up. It felt that way when I was playing the game.
Just go for that one blow up. Just should.
Yusuf, bro, where you at, man? I see you.
Hopefully I can make this link up. Should be fine. I think, yeah, it's 7 o'clock. Should be. That
I'll check in a moment.
yeah, so
Not even.
Route.
I've got some bad news. You're gonna
You can start home mission until like 1930, so it was alright. The problem for world record right now would be being too early for the next mission, because that one can only start at night.
Whatever you need, bro. How about ordering these limos? Coke makes me real classy, don't it? You take.
Calculating route.
so this is a unique Armando wall because it spawns us in a cutscene before we do the
Less annoying model?
before we actually teleport. So you need to skip some things at the correct time, but it's pretty easy to do.
No, seriously, bro. You guys
Yeah, I think
It's
you
not really much
clip
risk.
through you clip like through the void if you skip cutscene, or you just don't teleport. I don't remember exactly.
So one big long auto scroller. I guess technically not an auto scroller, but
Another turret type mission.
But yeah, using 26 FPS will slightly speed up the whole section here compared to playing on regular 120. And since it's an auto scroller, you don't really play any risk at playing worse or losing time, so
Yeah, the reason for initial 120 lock for T-Box is there are a lot of loading screens that can soft lock on higher FPS.
I think that's unique to the Ballad, Tony. I don't think it's an issue in The Lost and Damned.
The Lost and Damned has like 2 or 3. Two story missions and maybe a unique crash after the race sometimes. Not sure about that one, but I remember it happening. In GTA 4 there is a similar thing during Union Drive. One mission in GTA 4, 2 missions in Tillad, and every second mission in Tibo. Can soft lock on low FPS, on high FPS. It's gonna be just infinite loading screen.
coming to the end of this mission. Of course, who would have guessed there's more RNG with cops. So, if you get a bad cop spawn, the backup is to respray. But ideally, you want to just hope that you get no bad cop spawns on the main road. You just go straight. We're also going to use the pistol to shoot the cop to teleport the circle backwards. Because what will happen is, in this game, if you commit a crime and a cop sees that the aftermath of the crime, the circle will surround the actual the crime scene, I guess. So you'll see on the map, it should teleport. No bad cops as well, so I just teleported there, slightly back.
Yeah, if cops don't see you and it's been 10 seconds since that kill, the circle moves there.
Yeah, we have to drive a bit back because of what we said before, where you have to be a certain radius away from the next mission spawn. I think I should make it. Yeah, it should be okay.
That's what I told him. Gotta go to Bahama Mamas.
So this mission is just an introduction, I guess, to the dance mechanic in this game, which lets you pick up women in the clubs and stuff. Which I don't. Is that even used in 100% speedrun? The picking up the women for
Yeah,
the
nah,
booty calls
you
and
just
stuff?
need to do the bus stop and 2 clubs. You don't even have to do it well, you can fail it after not pressing anything 5 times or pressing wrong buttons. And it's really weird how they added this one night stands, and to get them you need to dance not too perfect. If you dance perfectly or if you finish the dance too fast, you end up in a bus stop every time, even if you already completed it. And it's never described that it works that way, so if you might never even discover that you can pick up girls in the clubs if you dance too well every time, because this minigame is not really hard, you just press the same button. Compared to San Andreas, it's like really a downgrade. And yeah, the booty calls, they're called booty calls, they're not really required for 100%. You just call them and then arrive to their place and get a little hot coffee cutscene and it heals you. That's about it.
How many times you wanna get me into shit, Rocco?
So yeah, we're using the same mechanic we used before with jumping over the bike, and this one went pretty clean first try. So that one seems a lot more consistent than all the rest because you aim at the computer, but it still happens whenever you want it to happen. So it's one of the rare places that you can change outfit. So we'll change to the suit outfit because why not?
Yeah, otherwise you can grab the health pack because the hospital is nearby if you need it. But during this run, every time you use Armando warp, you get half health back if you lost too much health. So every time you restart from a checkpoint, you get 50% health at least.
Smell, I just laid some gas.
If you have less than 50, you get back to 50.
FDA is denying access to a new drug that causes superfertility. Can you imagine the beauty and joy of God's gift as your home will become a whelping?
So starting, you can queue the void warp while you're in the cab, and then that way, with some missions you can't be too quick or too close to where the mission spawns. So this is used in all 3 games, I think, where you can queue the Void Warp before you actually...
Yeah, pretty much every mission that starts with a phone call has that
yeah.
radius or a sphere, more like.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
It's not really a circle. It's you can hover right above it with a heli.
It's more like a big bubble, I think.
Yeah,
Something like that.
It's a lovely helicopter you've got here, Tony.
I'd love to say this was mine, but I'm just borrowing it off a rich friend of mine, Mr. Yusuf Amir. He let us use it because it's such a special occasion.
That's a very grown-up gesture of yours. I thought it'd be just
can almost see the moon. I never actually look at the moon in GTA 4. I don't know why.
For this mission, you actually need to be careful because it's designed so poorly. If you go too far over, you can't catch him again, and he's completely gone.
Yeah, you need to get sucked in. You get in a certain position and then you can just dive as fast as you can. It locks you into the target, and otherwise you just miss it. Also, removing the parachute like he did skips the voice line.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy trying to get a fucking hooker.
Let's drive to Westminster. Cool. I'll take the long way.
And I got the fast phone call.
Yeah, I was worried that we would delay it because...
Yeah, if I had a passenger, I definitely would have delayed it, I think, so.
Yeah, the Void Warps really help with this helipad because you cannot taxi anywhere close to it without the Void Warp. You would have to steal the car to get there. And the best part is this taxi is actually gonna stay.
Hopefully. There's a chance it doesn't, so...
No,
But if
it
it
can-
does,
Yeah, it's really trying hard to get over the barrier. It doesn't matter if you hail it in that spot because it's gonna be driving around. It doesn't know what to do. There are no spots where it can stop for some reason.
oh shit. My mouse smacked against my keyboard and it shot, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, they didn't hear that. It's fine. That window actually exists in T-Lad and I think even GTA 4, but you cannot really climb it. The window that Luis uses during the cutscene.
Yep, so we're queuing another Armando warp for the next mission. And you can cancel calls, or I guess take the call without actually answering if you get into a vehicle whilst it's ringing, I think.
Yeah, you can trigger abilities or friend activities immediately by pressing F after it starts in the call. Oh yeah, this first heli, it spawns directly behind you as soon as you hang up Tony call. And it was supposed to explode into the building, or rather destroy the rotor, but it didn't. And the next two also spawned directly behind you, so to avoid them appearing in Alderney, you can just don't turn until both of them spawn.
Here we are. It's a wrap.
Okay, so going deep has some fairly new tech. It's still obviously a bit difficult to get perfect, but it does help a lot.
Yeah, we're going to test this taxi tech. At the end of the mission, there is a new tech.
I know. Here we are.
This Armando warp also skips the funny drive. It used to be a drive through the toll booth, so you either risk it the wanted level or just wait. Now we just teleport the car straight to Algonquin.
I can't thank you enough. Later, eh? I appreciate this.
Later on now.
Okay, so we're gonna wait for the second dialogue key because the second dialogue will give us a MG, which is used later in the run, simply because of the range on it. It's not even because of the ammo size or the damage; it's because of the range. So.
Park the car over there. We will conceal ourselves. Place a bomb where they will not see it.
Alright, and not slowing down for these bombs is also a thing now. You place them after parking the car.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not even sure if skipping the dialogue is necessary. Maybe
I don't think it is, but I'll just do it anyways.
Just in case.
Yeah, so this mission itself is pretty... I actually don't know how someone found all this, but you need to time it very perfectly or you'll end up soft locking the mission. So hopefully all went well. Yeah, and it did. So new tech, I guess, is to aim directly opposite of where you're exiting after the mission and aiming at the floor to spawn a cab later on. And I actually didn't get cops, so that went fairly well. There is a cab somewhere. There it is.
Oh, it works. Holy.
Yeah, let's go to
Yeah, it didn't work as well as it could have. There's normally a lot more cabs there, but...
I think it would have been even better if it was a daytime.
what I said to you. The offer will not be there forever. Okay, I will. Send my regards.
I'm not sure if reroute would be worth it.
Yeah, so this is the small link up that you can do with both Bulgar missions. Just run to the bin and then turn back again.
But your parents must hate too.
We'll just set the marker at the what is that place called? The Helitor, yeah.
Higgins Helitor. Yeah, I was thinking Timur was gonna block the door.
Yeah. I also couldn't see because of the tree. I had to base that all on audio cues. Yeah, this mission also has a very big skip. I think you found this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna see a big gunfight skip, and I actually have no clue how much time this saves because I haven't done this casually in at least 9 years probably. So
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't do it the shootout properly to compare it.
there's no point comparing it. We just know it saves time. So.
I would too, but there is chance Ashville's people come for my family back in old place. And you ain't worried about my family? No. Tell me why we can't just land on the building. You think they would not notice chopper landing on building?
Yeah, you can push the Ashville with 3 explosions in a row. He gets pushed far enough into the window and dies.
that what happens? I didn't know that. I thought he just dies because he gets blown up.
No, you can sometimes you can see his body falling down, I think. Or you can find it either way. And at the end you don't need to land on the track like it's planned. But if you land on top of the track, there is an extra cutscene and Timur drops you off somewhere near the United Nations building. So maybe that would be useful for future classic routing.
Yep, so that completely skips all of that gunfight. And we can just parachute down to this taxi down here. We'll set a waypoint straight to Tony's, and you can just taxi away from these guys that are after you, and that finishes the mission.
Here we are. Thank you very much. Stop, yo.
Hopefully that's an okay marker.
Yeah, since the Void Warp puts you exactly where the waypoint is, you can be really precise with markers.
Yeah, so
Hello, Joshimus, and thanks for the raid. Welcome, raiders. This is the second day of GTU, aka Gamers, Gaming Tuesday United. And it is Tuesday today, so
of course this is the real event. It's the only day that matters, surely.
incredible coincidence.
So, this isn't about Gracie? It's about saving our own asses?
Yes, this is a purely selfish act. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
So now we have the absolute snooze fest of 2 auto-scrollers,
How we gonna get out of this?
which is almost 10 minutes of auto-scrolling. So
How we gonna get out? Have we got a plan?
I don't know.
the stuff to ramble about we're gonna find.
Someone needs to calculate how much of holding W or just waiting for something to happen is in Grotto. Probably like 30 minutes.
So again, because Patrick is on Rails here, I think he's like scripted on Rails, so because of that, 26 FPS is faster than say you were using 100, 110, 60 for example, so. And it is an auto-scroller again, so no manual inputs really matter in this, just follow, and playing on 26, so there's no reason to not play on 26.
I'm really curious if you can kill any more chickens in Pando here.
I think you can, because
Sure, yeah.
in the section, I'm not sure where the seagulls are, I haven't learnt them yet, but outside of the booth tunnel, there is a like a very long section where you can just around like almost, I want to say 25 seconds, where you can do whatever you want while waiting for Patrick to get out to the other side of the tunnel, and you can land on a roof. So I don't know if you can snipe any chickens or RPG them from afar or something, but
Yeah, the main problem is that they don't spawn like far away from you. Farther than 2 blocks they just never spawn. Otherwise there's any kind of pigeons run would be much more interesting.
As unsuspiciously as you can when your boss only forked out for a weekend helicopter course. If he's getting wise, it's because you're a tight ass.
No, there is no rubber banding, it's just following the path at consistent speed.
Very clever.
And it is faster on low FPS, as was mentioned before.
yeah. And it is extremely difficult to spook him, I think. I think I've seen clips of people actually ramming him with the helicopter and he doesn't actually care.
Yeah, imagine making the
takes a
missions
lot.
like that. The only difficulty would be not to fall asleep and
Yeah.
crash into the party. Like,
Yeah,
what's,
so-
what's the challenge here? Just like, yeah, we have to connect this to GTA 4 somehow. What will we do? We just add a boat mission or a heli mission. You just have to drive back and forth.
Irish like those guys who robbed our bank? They could be the same ones that held me hostage.
Could have done something more
What would they
interesting,
need a
I
mob
think.
boss's daughter for when they got all the bank's money?
How the fuck do I know? I guess greed is a powerful motivator.
I got an idea.
Great. What is it?
We stop that bus car, we rig his balls to the battery. By the time he smells them cooking, we'll know exactly where Gracie's at.
This is a great bit of improvisation.
So he's about to go in the tunnel, so once he goes in the tunnel,
To the tunnel. Where fuck?
you can just fly to the other
We got
side.
two exits, T. He should come right out over by where we picked up the chopper.
Or he could hijack some other car and we'll be sitting here waiting for him with our
There's a reference at the end of the mission I had for when I could fly off
Not my hand, T.
and carry the momentum, but I completely forgot it, so...
Yeah, I also think you can be almost like one island away from here before it fails. Or maybe there's a timer when you leave the radius somehow.
It is very difficult to lose him, especially with the lock-on cinematic camera, because
Should've got suspicious the second anyone...
that itself basically just follows him through walls, so...
Wait, I can see you driving a pink car, T.
Why? Because people call me gay.
Yeah, usually during the following segment like that, keeping the camera on target allows you to be much further away. Like the famous auto commission drive with while looking backwards.
Yeah, giant, veiny, penis-shaped
You can't be too far away on auto commission if
Those were the days.
you don't, if you drive way too well and you don't drive into that alleyway at the start, you can just don't push the car far enough, and
I don't know. Shit.
at the end of the drive you might end up being way too far away,
Trunk of the red piece of shit we're
even
following.
while looking at the car.
Change the... I keep forgetting that the Maverick has a radio. Put on Vladivostok. Okay.
Oh, we have a radio today, holy crap.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
just-
barely notice
just
it because it's so quiet, but...
No, I'm muting the stream because otherwise I would have to hear myself, but like the worst.
Look, he's stopping. That must be where they're keeping Gracie.
It's somewhere at least.
What street is that?
So once you get the dialogue, you can just fly off.
But I think the big one's Sacramento. Call it in.
Let's head back to the helipad.
Yeah, so the connection to the next mission used to be enter the heli and fly to the club, but as I mentioned earlier, the mission past screen delays the phone call by at least 5 seconds, because that's how long it lasts.
You've got a good cab.
This kind of a loadless abuse to with warp here, but whatever.
I forgot to void warp, but doesn't really matter, there's not much time loss.
Yeah, the connection used to be like you finish the tank mission here and you just make a phone call and start the mission without taxi. So maybe it's not worth breaking that kind of connection, but need to make a better comparison of the routes, two routes. Yes, there's a lot going on. You could use the Armando warp on this mission instead of the Diamonds mission. You cannot utilize Armando on both of these missions. It wouldn't be worth it.
Fucking subway train! Oh yeah, baby! The rise of the fleet! The ass-fucking flagship of the LTA! Give it up!
Yusuf's car is horrible.
We're taking that shit out to the Gulf for a new Liberty City team development.
Yeah, some people say it's kind of like a GTA 5 car in GTA 4.
Get that shit going through a precious and delicate
Kind of see that, yeah.
I haven't played 5 in like
It has horrible brakes though.
Not gonna be easy, dog. No one likes people fucking with their public transport in
And especially in that construction bit, if you hit the debris, then
We need the
the
genuine
car just completely ice skates.
You think we could put the Amir name
Oh yeah, right.
authentic shit?
There are so many characters in GTA Online that they
Here's
used from Broton.
right here above the tracks.
especially the club management personalities.
There's Tony, Yusuf, Rocco is in the story.
Yeah, probably all these actors and celebrities that you have to deliver somewhere during club management too.
Yeah. So the timing to get onto the path is whenever you hear the train honk. You can do it just before, but it is a bit risky. So the train honk and then jump off and then you land on here. And it takes you about less than 10 seconds to get to the front of the train, and we have to wait for Yusuf for a good around 3 minutes.
Yeah, this part is not affected by FPS for some reason. Train doesn't move any faster.
Yeah, walking on the train is faster with higher FPS, but the train actually moving doesn't really change anything. And what did he just do?
You could do a funny meme here and have a gun van menu during this drive. You could buy a machine gun, for example, and shoot them with a machine gun. It's not gonna make it any better for OHQ. And to set up that glitch, you would have to die on the train first. You would have to fail after landing on the train.
Also, I don't know if this is true or not, but I might be the only person who has done this mission Oko. I don't think anyone else has done it, so
We have to ask
possible.
around in Oiko Discord.
But I think this is the big bottleneck in completing Oko with Broton.
Yeah, people just gave up because of that mission, I think. Could be wrong, maybe there's
It's
something.
around an hour, probably an hour 50 or something in Oko into the run, and that's completely risky. So
Yeah, you couldn't reroute it to be any earlier because this use of mission unlocks after finishing second Bulgarian mission, and Bulgarian missions unlock like in the second part of the game. You need to do majority of Tony missions to unlock it.
So once you reach here, that is basically the mission over. We set up the void warp or the vid warp, and then do it once you see the icons on the map. And now we have to do the set up the Armando warp. So calling and taking cover normally does it, and we need this cab, and we go straight to Bulgarin's mission. Now this mission can go very wrong very quickly, but there's also some new placebos with this mission, so we'll test them out. I'm not going to shoot the door off because it's just a recipe asking for disaster, but
Yeah, keeping the same taxis should be pretty good time safe.
yeah. So finding the O on the map, I think this is opposite Ray's, and this marker will allow us to save the cab, and it will hold the cab in place. So yeah, it gets stuck on the pole, and if you hail, he gets stuck. And then we can set the marker to Brucey's. So this is what we use the MG for. I think this is mainly the only time in the run we actually use the MG. It's
Yeah,
simply
otherwise
because the range
You
on
could
it.
buy M4 instead of waiting for the Bulgarian dialogue. M4 has a good enough range, I think. And in 100% runs, a funny thing can happen where you do go in deep first, you get this machine gun, and then you do not so fast, and it replaces your weapon with AK. It never happens. The cutscene weapon is never provided to you in any other mission, I think.
So yeah, doing the run down the aisle there was, I think it's a pretty big time save. I think the IL for that was by Kyle, right? And he had the he got lucky where he went down some pole or something.
Yeah, that IL is not run safe though. Not safe for the full run.
Yeah.
And the usual descending down the ladder strat was surely slower. Down the fire escape, I mean. Yeah, if you explore that area, there are a lot of lower buildings in the area, and you would think that you can just jump down, but they added that zone, so if you jump there, you just die before even reaching the ground. That's a great game design, for sure. Yeah, I missed, didn't mention another Armando warp. It just happened.
Yeah, but that Armando warp is pretty safe normally. I think even if it goes wrong, the car just gets parked by the wall, so... Also, I hope that didn't kill Brucey or bug him. See if he gets going. Yeah, alright, so he's fine. With high FPS, normally anything above 100, you play the risk of squishing Brucey with the, is it excavator? Is that what it's called? Or, I don't know what it is. But,
just the car lift, I don't know.
Yeah. And if you squish him, then he'll get soft locked and stay in place. So it's pretty important that you time it correctly. This whole mission itself, like this whole close to the river drive, is pretty risky. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. For example, you'll see the cutscene that comes up, which completely takes over your camera, which can be pretty disastrous because you can't see where you're going for a good 3 seconds, which you'll see right now.
The classic one. And you, as a casual, I always used to drive into the tire there, or into the barrel.
You can see the guy right there almost maybe ramp off of his body by rolling in front. But up until that point, it's pretty simple once you get past this. There is a few spots on the ramps where you can fall into the Humboldt, but you need to fuck up pretty badly in order to do that, so...
Yeah, I watched that all pirated measures in IV compilation and DLCs, it's like 20 minutes long video. I didn't encounter many of those. There was only one where Tony died during party's over. After I killed 3 guys, he just instantly died. But after I changed language to English, it fixed itself for some reason. It was back in the day. So the most known thing is obviously the drunk camera and vehicle having 1 HP, constantly smoking. But they also implemented so many snags in the missions themselves. If someone is desperate enough to try and play with drunken camera, there are still some things that will prevent you from beating the game.
Okay, so this warp, hopefully, if it goes right, will be blocked by the porch, which it is. Yeah, so getting that, it's such a small thing to do, but getting it saves so much time. Because if you warp and you land in the water, you have to get up, and then you have to pull out your RPG, and then you have to go on the marker. And the reason you pull out your RPG is because after this whole section, we don't have an opportunity to change weapons, and your weapons are stored. They're saved almost by whenever you're going in and out of cars. It'll save your most recent weapon that you've held, and we need it so we can death warp after this mission. And because we're not on foot until this mission is over, you have to pull it out right at the start. It's very easy to forget, but it's a pretty decent time save if you can do it.
This is just like in TLAT.
Yeah. So this is one of the rare moments that we see Nico. I think we only see him twice in this game.
Oh, what
Diamonds
about
and
the
this-
opening?
Oh, and the
custom?
bank robbery, of course, yeah. How could I forget about that? I guess it's not so rare now that I think about it.
Off our boat!
Hey, I'm trying, okay?
Tony, you're fucking pathetic! Get them on the
Yeah, and we see Roman during this mission's cutscene, I think.
fucking stowaway's gone!
They try to enter the club with Brucey.
Kidnappers now!
Oh, that's true. You see Roman and his cousin on this mission. That's pretty...
And kill
I never noticed that.
They're gonna have to set the fuck
You can
Yeah,
hear Brucey on the
It
radio.
makes sense because during this cutscene, Brucey tells you that, yeah, thanks for handling Mori for me. That was really cool. And then he whispers something in Louis' ear, and Louis pushes him away.
He's also speaking on the radio right now, his advert. Which is pretty funny.
The way she was acting, she was gonna get us killed.
Man, I love GTA 4.
I took them all. Sleep it off, man.
So yeah, Death Warp. Because anywhere on the piers are normally quite a bad location to get cabs.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it would be worth it to like call Henrique, get his car, and drive back while making 2 phone calls, but I couldn't make it work. Henrique doesn't reach the end of that pier.
Can't get you any closer, buddy.
Yeah, Party's Over is probably my favorite mission in the game.
Yeah, man. I wish someone found a way to save the taxi here.
Yeah, if there was a
And to
taxi
be
here
honest-
or a way to get out, it would make it far more enjoyable.
If there was a way to save the taxi before like every Mori mission and every Bulgarian mission, it would be such a huge time save. Well, the first Bulgarian mission. But I guess every time they decided to force you to use the mission vehicle, they just decided to despawn your vehicle.
So yeah, taking the regular marker here, for some reason this whole section has a very long load, regardless, but if you take the default marker, you have a pretty decent chance at smashing into Desi and failing the mission. I don't know why the marker was designed so poorly.
I'm thinking if maybe changing destination would help or not. I don't
Yeah, I'm not
think it
sure.
has to.
Just to be safe, I always put a waypoint instead.
Also, it introduces like 15 seconds loading screen, so some people are shaking the head right now. There is a waypoint a bit further away, but you have to run more, so... Yeah, Nabnoop, I'm not sure if it even would work with this mission, because that passenger trick, it only works in some missions, I think. Like, it works in Bull in the China Shop start. And in that mission that it's used in Column Collect start.
So this whole mission is basically just COD zombies. Just sitting up at the top of Doris Alley or something.
Yeah. We used to use a machine gun here.
Yeah, I think Kamix PB has the machine gun, but I found that the auto shotgun uses it's just a lot more reliable.
Yeah, but Even earlier, people were too pussy to use this strat. It was considered an IL exclusive strat. Dark times.
I think we're clear out here. Come out.
Kill me, Lou.
And now we're on the final mission of the game, which is arguably the most cancer. Because of the awful C4 lineups.
Okay then.
Yeah, you can have some references, but you still have to aim in the sky, so it might not work for you. I'm always trying to find some reference on the ground when I'm aiming in the sky. I mean, that makes sense anyway.
Take out their income stream.
Yeah, there is a slight reference I have, but
End this
it is still quite hit and miss.
I'm dangerous. Let's fucking do this.
I think as for the estimate, I think we're just going to be slightly over, like probably less than 30 seconds over.
Don't make me, man. You know you
Which, considering how poor the start of the run was, is pretty surprising.
And that's really crazy. Gonna be faster than my PB with this shit start. With weed warping 4 times for a bike.
Where you think you
I
can
mean,
hide that no one would expect?
I have no fucking
next game, Rory, we will improve
when I
something.
was a kid, and I swore blind I'd
Sure,
never go
then.
back. Apart from to catch a plane.
Okay, cool. Hit later, D.
Okay, so I pull out the RPG here. I think I'm the only person that does this, and by doing this, I'll have the RPG out whenever I'm taking cover and just destroy the van, which will destroy the duck, which has the heroin in it. I'm not sure exactly what it is.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, bitches.
People used to shoot it with a weapon.
Alright, that should be it. Van actually hasn't despawned, which I think is an issue. Because it's on fire. And it's right on the marker.
You can try pushing it away with the shotgun.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Ouch. Okay, I think the C4 lineups don't work after you restart, right? No, you can try it, but I'm not sure actually. Right. Yeah, if I was a bit faster, maybe you would have used the shotgun for that one, because explosive rounds push the the vehicles.
I'll try it anyways, we'll see if it works.
Who got him? Come on, motherfuckers.
I did get the skip though, so it is on. I have to be in that marker, otherwise I don't think the other
Yeah, that's the
heroin spawns.
important part for that skip.
Oh, we got it now though. It's not
Okay, that was a delusion. Maybe I was not in the marker when I was doing it from a checkpoint. Guess I'm stupid. Also, this bike is probably a major reason why people hate IV bikes. Because it's the custom version with the extended back wheel. So it just slides everywhere if you're not careful. And not to mention that if you play on anything above 60, 70 FPS, bikes are gonna be impossible to control.
So you want to pull out your SMG on this drive. Doing this will spawn the SMG in your hands whenever you're in the plane for the final bit.
Don't blow me up, bro.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this 100 stunts run. If the runners actually knew the landing zones or not, because those can be just really tricky. I mean, did they have a visual thing to see the landing zones, or did they just figure them out? Ah, well, at first, yeah, but after you finish the race, I mean. We were about to do the same in IV, the move stun jumps thing. We actually made all, I think, all 50, but never actually finished that. I don't know what happened. I was not the one who was making it.
Fucking underpaid, man. Coño!
It would be really annoying in GTA 4 because the checkpoints in 5 when they go crazy, you can load the save and be inside the same car, and in 4 you would lose the bike and you would have to get another one miles away. I mean, there would be like a gentleman's agreement to use the bike sheet probably, if the race happened at some point. Yeah, also you can delay opening the parachute here by holding sprint key. Otherwise it opens automatically. And you can actually land in the Meadows Park if you keep holding S. And that's almost time. Holy.
And that's time whenever Luis touches the marker.
GG. He skipped the credits. I can't believe it.
Oh, this is the credits.
Ah, I meant the cutscene.
Yeah, slightly overestimate, but with considering all the stuff that went wrong, it's not that bad.
Everything that happened at the start was out of control, pretty much. Especially the bike spawns.
Yeah, that's basically the run. That's everything. It's 135 as well for people who care about loadless. There you go.
Got
I'll
some
say big,
final donations for you, if you want,
Okay, yeah.
before we go.
Of course, yeah.
We have, let's see, we have Alex's from his previous run, $35 coming in. If you guys didn't see his previous run, for every stunt jump he had to skip, he would donate €5 or dollars, I guess, because we're doing everything in dollars. So that's his donation coming in. We have $5 from Trebets, thank you very much, and we have $25 from Morale, who is she works at Save the Children. So you know, I've got friends in high places, not to flex or anything. Says thank you, Ben and community, for doing this for Save the Children every year. You are incredible. Much love. Thank you very much. And that takes us to $1,199 total.
It's huge.
One more for the big 1200. Let's go.
Big stuff, big stuff. Also,
I'm gonna
a
have to
big,
come up with some new goals.
of course. Also, a big thank you for having me on the marathon, and big thank you to Ron for commentating as well. It would have been pretty awful to do this on my own. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for the content.
Of course, anytime, anytime.
Next up, we have Tezuro coming on with some GTA 2. So if you're one of those people that ask, you know, all the time, where are the old GTA games? I'm not talking about GTA 3. No, where's GTA 1 and 2? Well, we've got one of them for you. Okay, nobody plays GTA 1, but some people play GTA 2, and one of them's Tezuro. So we're gonna get that ready, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Any final words, you two?
I've said all
Yeah,
I need to
this
say.
was
Thank you
probably
again.
yeah, this was probably still the best marathon run ever done. I'm not sure, would have to recheck, but it just goes to show how much you can improve.
the run like Ace did. Yeah. Anyway.
We're back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.